2 slices, please. This is it, my friends. It has been a long, long journey. The times that we have had in these videos, the memories I've made, the friends I've made, I will cherish forever. I would say most definitely that this series has been my magnum opus. I do not think I will ever be able to top it. I do not want it to end, and yet, here we are. We must now talk about the final wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. Let us begin. Acorn Cup is the first cup. It starts with Rome Avanti. Out of all of the real-world city cups for Mario Kart Tour, I would say this one, it's in the upper half, I'd say. It's pretty okay. I mean, you know, it's Rome, so naturally the Colosseum is kind of the centerpiece. And I really do like it. It looks really cool because it's not even just the Colosseum. You have other, like, ruinsy stuff I should probably know the name of. And that means that there's just a good amount of, you know, enjoyable visual stuff happening. You kind of circle around the Colosseum, and then on the final lap, you go into the Colosseum, you go straight through it. There's chain chomps down there. You drive straight through the middle. I think that's a really cool little detail. Overall, not incredible, but it's good. It's fun. It's one of the best. Again, yeah, if it's on the top half. Next, we have DK Mountain, and I played a fair amount of Double Dash back in the day, and I would say DK Mountain is the one track I remember most. I remember that one most clearly. I don't know why. Probably just because it's a great track. It's very memorable. I like the whole, you know, it's a little bit similar to some of the other tracks we've gotten. I like anything where, you know, you blast up to the top and you get to see the entire track below you first, and then you get to kind of go down the mountain. I think it's just a cool idea. Take a cannon all the way up to the top and then all the way down, falling rocks. Looks really cool. It's got a lot of character. The background, the vistas look really nice. As with all the remastered tracks, not really quite on par with like original tracks that were newly made for this game, but still really good, really pretty, very nostalgic, and just fun. Just the fact that it's just like almost all completely downhill. This is definitely a standout track. It is a popular one for good reason. Then we have Daisy Circuit. Not really a lot to say about this one. As always, I'll remind you, I did not play Mario Kart Wii, so I'm not really familiar with these tracks. Yeah, Daisy Circuit, it's just kind of a thing. It's just kind of like driving on roads, kind of a seaside area, little town kind of thing. It doesn't really have any like one particularly interesting thing about it. Which is a little bit disappointing. I like the statues, those are pretty cool. I would just say overall, like, the vibe is really nice. Just any kind of seaside thing. Feels very, very relaxing, very cozy. Otherwise, not really a ton going for it, though. It's just kind of a track, so I don't know, who cares, though? And then finally, we have Piranha Plant Cove. This is a good one, definitely the standout here. There's just a lot going on visually, you know? It's very ruinsy, as always. I love just ruins and crumbling ruins and temples and stuff. But then you also spend a lot of time underwater, and then there are parts where it's underwater through the ruins. I think that's really cool. There's more too, though. Just a lot visually going on. There's a tremendous number of just like creatures. You know, you got eels and jellyfish and cheeps and stuff, just kind of all over the place. And then up on dry land, you've got lots of structures. You've got a lighthouse in the distance. You've got you know, one section with huts. It's got this whole like tropical theme going on, and I really like it. It's you know, as far as like how the actual track goes, it's a little bit straightforward, but I just enjoy it so much visually, and it's also kind of fun to just have these like really long stretches of underwater. It feels like a lot more underwater stuff than most of them. Yeah, it's a really nice track. And then the final cup in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Spiny Cup, starts with Madrid Drive, and this is very similar to the Rome one, where it's like, it's not really a standout, but it is kind of on the upper end of things. It's, you know, it's a little bit better. It doesn't really have any one thing about it that makes it really stand out. You know, like, it really comes down to the visuals with these real life city things. Just how are the visuals? That's why some, they'll be nighttime, they'll be really flashy, they'll be really pretty, and that's what makes them good. But this one, its strengths are in its individual areas. It's got just a lot of really small, really brief sections that are just kind of nice, and they all kind of add up to be like pretty good, you know? Little places, like you get this little cute little plaza, you've got like a little art gallery. You're only through it for a few seconds and you get to see the pictures, the piranha plant coming out of the picture. That's cute. And then on the last lap, you get to go through the stadium, and that's really cool. Like, the music changes, and there's big soccer balls and Goombas and shoes kicking the soccer balls. That is really nice. It's nice to have, like, one last big visual surprise, kind of like right at the end there, you know? So not terrible. There have been other real-world city tracks that are more boring, so that, yeah, it's pretty good. Then we have Rosalina's Ice World. This one is really pretty. I really like it. I already like winter-themed levels. They just are just so, I don't know, they're chilly and cozy and nice. I just love the aesthetic. And this one is super pretty. It's all ice. It's crystally ice caves. There's parts where you're going underwater. And then, of course, it's a Rosalina level. So, like, up in the sky, you've got, like, Super Mario Galaxy kind of planets and stuff. I really love how the observatory has, like, landed next to the starting line. It's kind of like Rosalina landed it here for the event, you know, for this race. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. The whole thing is very visual. It's very interesting. It's very pretty. It's another standout, definitely. Then we have Bowser Castle 3, and generally, the Super NES ones are usually fairly disappointing just because, I mean, they were all completely flat. You didn't have all the dynamic terrain and all that stuff. But here, I don't know if it has been recreated just for this game or if it was recreated in a different 3D game. Whatever the case, though, this is a really good level. Bowser's Castle levels are always really fun. They're always dangerous with all the fire and stuff. But this one is great. It's got a lot of really fun, twisty turns. Even though it's a Super NES one, it's still got the more dynamic terrain. It's got the ups and the downs and even a couple like slight anti-grav parts. It doesn't do any one thing like super amazingly, but it's just kind of like really solid throughout. It's just fun. It's visually fun. It's fun to drive around in. It's a really nice one. And then finally, the final track and the final wave and the DLC and the Mario blah, 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 blah. Rainbow Road. I've heard a lot of kerfuffle, a lot of hubbub about this track, and I can definitely see why. I know Rainbow Road tracks are generally pretty famous because they're just wacky and crazy and weird. And this one, it is most certainly wacky, crazy, and weird. The track is so bendy. It's so like ups and downs and steep and twists and turns. And of course, it's like, you know, there's parts that's moving and all these boosts all over the place. It's really fun. And then of course, it's just the visuals. There's just so much to look at. It's so sparkly and colorful. And of course, this was from a Wii game, so it had Super Mario Galaxy stuff and star bits floating up in the air. It's just really, really good. It's a really good place to end the DLC. I love the little detail where when you fall off and start hurtling toward the planet below, you like ignite in the atmosphere just for a second. You're only falling for like a second before Lakitu grabs you, but it's just like, oh no, we're all right. Just started to ignite the atmosphere a little bit. No problem. No, it's a great track though. It is I would definitely say it is a particularly fun track. You know, it's a really fun one to just do over and over again and really learn some of those twists and turns, because then when you get it down, it feels really good and you're just zipping through. It just feels like you're hurtling through like crazy. It's real good. And that is it. That's it. It kind of, I mean, there were so many waves of this DLC, it kind of felt like it would never end, but it did. It eventually ended. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to like rank the different DLC waves individually, but I would say now that they've all been released, I think the first three were the best. The first one was really good, second one was even better, third one was even better, and then since then it's kind of been a little bit more uneven. You know, the latter half of the DLC was kind of like pretty good. Like, none of them were bad. This one I would say is very middling. I want to say there might have been another one that I thought was a little bit weaker, but this one was like still pretty good. I guess I would say it was pretty good because it didn't have as many really, really big standouts. I would say Wii Rainbow Road is really like the big one. But all the rest were just like pretty solid. You know, you got DK Mountain, you got Rosalina's Ice World. So like not a ton that are like super amazing, like blow your hair back, incredible. But just pretty solid throughout. Yeah, it was good. The DLC overall has been good. The value is crazy. It's not often that you get DLC and you think, oh my gosh, what a value. And I didn't even have to pay for it. I wouldn't even have minded paying for it, but I have Nintendo Switch Online, so I just kind of got it for free. Get like 100,000 extra tracks and a bunch of new characters and stuff. And then on top of that, we ended up just getting like item balancing and or just like patchy balancy stuff. That's another thing. There's some other stuff that came through in this. It's funny that they waited until the very, very end to make some, I mean, I know they've been like kind of tweaking the game here and there, but it's like this was their last chance to really tweak some stuff. So they're like, okay, let's do it. They got rid of bagging or whatever, where like you purposefully hang back to get a good item and then rocket forward and through to the front. That's apparently a thing that's a big deal, and Nintendo, after all these years, after like 10 years or whatever, finally decided, okay, let's stop that. So now, like, if you drop behind early on, you're just not as likely to get a good item. So I don't know, that's cool, I guess. And then they also changed how quickly an item box reappears once it's collected. It is very, very short now. I don't know, I guess they just thought it's frustrating to narrowly miss getting one, so they made it just a little bit easier to get one, which is, I don't know, it's fine by me. I guess I'm fine either way. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. Just one last little wave of adjustments right here at the end. And I definitely hope that future titles get this kind of DLC. I know it might not feel as necessary, because like this one was, I mean, you know, it was on the Wii U and then it was on the Switch right in the first year. And so the Switch has this long lifetime. It kind of felt like they had to give us something. If they weren't going to give us Mario Kart 9, at the very least give us some tracks. But they really, I mean, they gave us so many that like, I don't even know. It's a little bit like Smash Brothers. I don't know if I anticipate getting such a crazy amount of content in future titles, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It was certainly an unusual thing for Nintendo to do. So what did you think? What did you think about it? Did you end up enjoying it? It was weird, but like it's been fun. It's been really fun just doing these videos each time they come out. It's given us something to look forward to again and again and again, in the same way that Smash did. And it's kind of fun that they waited until after Smash to do this, even though this was an older game, because then there's always something to look forward to. Anyway, that is it. Thank you for watching. I will take this opportunity to remind everyone, just again, periodically, like to remind you that I stream. I actually streamed myself playing through these new courses, and that's the thing that I do sometimes. At the moment, things are a little weird and up in the air in my life, and it's kind of hard to find time to stream, but that's why you gotta follow me on Twitch. Just follow me on Twitch. You'll get notified when I go live. Follow me on Twitter. I always announce when I'm going to stream. Please watch me stream. I like to stream. I love you. Goodbye.